Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are taking a deeper look into a pivotal moment in history. The United States invasion of Panama in 1989, also known as Operation Just Cause. Before we jump into the action, let's set the stage. The key player? Manuel Noriega, the military dictator of Panama. Once a valuable CIA asset in the US war on drugs, Noriega had begun to play a dangerous double game. He was providing safe harbor for drug shipments and facilitating money laundering through Panamanian banks. His cozy relationship with drug cartels was not only undermining the US war on drugs, but it was also destabilizing the region. But the real kicker? His increasingly erratic behavior and escalating threats towards the approximately 35,000 American citizens living and working in Panama. These citizens, along with the US military assets in the Panama Canal zone, were being placed in real and imminent danger. Moreover, Noriega's rule was marked by human rights abuses and political repression. Panamanians were being denied their basic rights and freedoms, and the US saw an opportunity to restore democracy to a nation under the thumb of a dictator. Then there were the Torrijos-Carter treaties, signed in the late 70s, which were designed to return control of the Panama Canal to Panama. Noriega's threats to weaponize this control and disrupt international maritime trade were the final straw that justified the US military intervention. So, on the night of December 19, 1989, the US launched Operation Just Cause. Its objectives were clear: protect US citizens, restore democratic and human rights in Panama, and uphold the Torrijos-Carter treaties. Noriega's shift from a CIA asset to a supporter of drug traffickers set the stage for a significant military intervention. And with that, the stage was set for one of the most significant military operations of the late 20th century, a mission that would test the mettle of the US military and forever change the course of Panama's history. The United States had three primary objectives when initiating Operation Just Cause. First and foremost, the safety of US citizens was a top concern. Approximately 35,000 Americans were living, working, and conducting business in Panama at the time. The situation was becoming increasingly volatile under Noriega's rule, and the US government felt compelled to act to ensure their safety. The second objective was to restore democratic and human rights in Panama. Noriega's rule was characterized by widespread human rights abuses and a blatant disregard for democratic principles. His regime stifled political dissent and suppressed freedom of speech. By removing Noriega from power, the United States hoped to pave the way for a return to democracy in Panama, a nation that had been stifled under the weight of dictatorship. The third objective was to uphold the Torrijos-Carter treaties. These agreements, signed in 1977 by US President Jimmy Carter and Panamanian leader Omar Torrijos, stipulated that control of the Panama Canal would gradually be transferred from the United States to Panama. However, Noriega's threats to manipulate canal control for his own nefarious ends were seen as a direct violation of these treaties. The US believed that by taking military action, they could prevent Noriega from sabotaging the handover and ensure a smooth transition of control. This was critical, not just for the sake of upholding international agreements, but also for preserving the stability and functionality of one of the world's most important shipping routes. In summary, the objectives of Operation Just Cause were threefold: to protect US citizens, to restore democratic and human rights, and to uphold the Torrijos-Carter treaties. These goals formed the backbone of the US's rationale for invading Panama and served as the driving force behind the military action. However, achieving these objectives was no easy task, and the operation would come with its fair share of challenges. These objectives, while noble in intent, would ultimately lead to controversy and debate. As we move forward, we'll delve into the invasion itself and the aftermath of this momentous event in history. On December 20th, 1989, a joint force of nearly 26,000 American troops descended on Panama. The Operation Just Cause invasion was not only a display of military might, but also a demonstration of strategic planning and technological prowess. The US military's strategy was meticulously crafted. It was designed to be swift and decisive, aimed at minimizing collateral damage and civilian casualties. The plan hinged on a simultaneous attack on key military and governmental targets across Panama. This approach was intended to rapidly destabilize Noriega's regime and prevent any coordinated counterattack. As the invasion unfolded, the US military showcased some new additions to its arsenal. One such addition was the C-130E Hercules aircraft. This versatile transport plane played a crucial role in the operation. It was used to drop paratroopers into combat zones, quickly reinforcing ground troops. The Hercules was also used for rapid resupply missions, ensuring that the troops on the ground had everything they needed to succeed. But it wasn't just about new technology. The US also relied on tried and true tactics. The US Navy SEALs were tasked with two pivotal missions. The first was to disable a boat in which President General Manuel Noriega might use to escape. The second was to disable Noriega's Learjet at Patilla Field, effectively grounding any chance of aerial escape. These missions were critical in ensuring Noriega could not evade capture. When the invasion began, the Panamanian Defense Forces, or PDF, were caught off guard. The sheer scale and speed of the US assault overwhelmed them. Despite their best efforts to resist, the PDF were simply outmatched. In little time, the US forces had gained control of key locations, including the PDF headquarters and Noriega's own command center. The invasion was not without its costs. There were casualties on both sides, and the destruction left in the wake of the conflict was significant. Yet within hours of the invasion's start, it became clear that Noriega's regime was crumbling. The US forces had managed to seize control of Panama's major cities and strategic points with remarkable efficiency. The invasion was a testament to the effectiveness of the US military's strategy. It highlighted the importance of thorough planning, superior technology, and exceptional personnel in achieving military objectives. Above all, it demonstrated the US's resolve to protect its interests and uphold international law. This marked the beginning of the end for Noriega's regime. The once feared dictator was now on the run, his forces scattered and his power diminished. Operation Just Cause had effectively broken the backbone of Noriega's dictatorship, setting the stage for his eventual capture and the restoration of democracy in Panama. Operation Just Cause concluded in late January 1990, but not without its share of controversy. After a month of intense military operations, the proverbial curtain fell on the Noriega regime. The dictator himself was found hiding at the Vatican Embassy in Panama City. After a 10-day standoff, Noriega surrendered to the US forces. He was then flown to Miami, Florida, where he was tried and convicted on multiple counts of drug trafficking, racketeering, and money laundering. But the drama did not end with Noriega's capture. The invasion had far-reaching implications, both in Panama and internationally. The restoration of democracy was a significant outcome of Operation Just Cause. Guillermo Endara, whose election victory had been annulled by Noriega, was sworn in as president on the very night of the invasion. His government faced the daunting task of rebuilding a country ravaged by years of dictatorship and weeks of military action. However, it was the debate over the invasion's legality and effectiveness that really set tongues wagging. Critics argued that the US had violated international law by using military force to arrest Noriega. The United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution condemning the invasion, though it was largely symbolic as it lacked any enforcement mechanism. On the other hand, proponents of the invasion pointed to the successful removal of a dictator and the restoration of democracy as clear evidence of its effectiveness. They also argued that the US had a moral obligation to protect its citizens and uphold democratic values, particularly in a country where it had significant historical and strategic interests. In the end, Operation Just Cause remains a topic of heated debate among historians, political scientists, and legal experts. Some see it as a necessary intervention, others as an act of aggression. Yet the operation undeniably changed the course of Panama's history and left an indelible mark on US foreign policy. Regardless of the controversy, it cannot be denied that Operation Just Cause marked a pivotal moment in history. As we have discussed, Operation Just Cause was a complex event with wide-ranging implications. This military endeavor, initiated by the United States, was a calculated move to neutralize the growing threat posed by Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega. His shift from being an ally in the US's war on drugs to actively aiding drug cartels was a significant concern. His growing paranoia and threats to weaponize control over the Panama Canal further justified the need for action. The operation aimed to protect the approximately 35,000 American citizens residing in Panama, restore democratic and human rights curtailed under Noriega's rule, and uphold the Torrijos-Carter treaties. These treaties would return control of the Panama Canal to Panama itself, a prospect threatened by Noriega's erratic behavior. The invasion, which commenced on December 20th, 1989, was a massive undertaking. A joint force of nearly 26,000 American troops descended on Panama, equipped with state-of-the-art vehicles and technology. The C-130E Hercules aircraft proved to be a game-changer during this operation. This military action was not without controversy, but it achieved its core objectives. The democratically elected government led by Guillermo Endara was restored and Noriega was arrested on drug trafficking charges. The impact of Operation Just Cause is still felt today. It marked a significant shift in US foreign policy and set a precedent for future military interventions. The debate on the legality and morality of the invasion remains a contentious issue in international relations. However, the operation was a turning point in Panama's history, leading to the restoration of democratic rule and the end of Noriega's reign. In reflecting on Operation Just Cause, we see a complex review of international relations, power dynamics, and the struggle for human rights. It serves as a reminder of the challenging decisions nations face when confronted with threats to their citizens and global stability. Thank you for joining us today as we explored this significant event in history. Stay tuned for more in-depth explorations of pivotal moments in history.